Turn 4 then, and the good news is we've got some reinforcements on the way, and that's going to be some poles down in the woods, so we start off straight away down there. He tried to attack with these Cossacks here, but he didn't get very far, and so what I'll do is put these guys straight into square and attack whilst I'm down here. Also bring these guys around, put them into square, bring these up here, I won't have enough if I move them any further. And then just build up. All he's doing really is delaying the inevitable. I'm still going to be able to move. What we've got there, some infantry, some guns. We'll try and bring them up to the front as much as possible. There we go. So we'll leave that there. And just to deal with those Cossacks. Nice and fairly straightforward. Found some more Cossacks coming there south of Borodino. So I think my decision to put some artillery there last time was a justified one, so we'll turn that round now. And I'll continue bringing some troops there just to reinforce that position up there. Surprisingly, he actually moved his cavalry away. Well, I'll say that. He moved the cavalry that had attacked last time away, but moved these Cossacks up to just scout, hinder, annoy me. So we've got squares there, it's fairly secure. We had a bit of a skirmish where skirmishes where he could here as well. He took some back. I think it was them. Yeah, they withdrew. Probably low ammo maybe, or disordered or something. So we're going to continue our advance down towards Borodino Redoubt with the 1st Division here. Around here, again, he moved his cavalry away. He moved some more up here, just sort of sorted them all out onto this high ground. And then he removed these Cossacks, these Dragoons, beg your pardon, from sort of the danger area, and he's trying to get them out. They're isolated, they're disordered, so we'll be able to have a crack at them with some artillery next turn. What else did he do? Around Borodino, he continued moving some guns around. He's bringing them onto this high ground around here. It's not a bad spot to actually put them. And what else did we have? Not a lot really. Can't really see much at the minute. Might have to get some of this cavalry out and scout up here. It's not a bad idea actually. Maybe up on this high ground or over here, just overlooking around Loganovo or Loganovo, Salonovi. And Malo, towards that direction. One good thing, I think I did mention it, maybe I didn't, since the update they've reduced the visible hexes to 20, so 2 kilometres, half the distance, which is more realistic. The idea being that you have to forcibly almost put scouts out, which is more realistic, so that's a good thing from the updates. So the plan is to stick with the plan for the time being. There's no major developments that require us to change our plan. Going to be continuing this advance on Helsinki and continue moving some heavy cavalry down to help the 2nd Division with their approach and to deal with this cavalry down here, sort of northeast of Borodino. And that's about it really. So I'm going to get moving, and once I've moved everybody, I'll tell you what I've done, why I've done it, and show you. Right, movement on turn 4, pretty much done. What I do, we dealt with these guys on the road pretty early on, put everyone in squares there, brought some artillery up, and some of the rest of the poles up as well. Around Borodino itself, or Borodino, we set up this artillery, that'll be good to go next turn. However, this artillery should be good to go, and we'll see, yeah, we can get a shot off on some Cossacks if it was within range. So if they continue though, we'll get some defensive fire from those units. Put a couple of battalions up to Borodino itself, just to protect it a little bit. I'm not too worried if they're just Cossacks, they're not going to take Borodino off me, but I can't let them get in and behind me, especially if I'm bringing reinforcements up from the west. Around Borodino itself then, we've just got the squares that can deal with any Cossacks that are around. Bring them up there. We'll skirmish where we can. Bit of opportunity to fire, that's alright. We'll get these line troops as well. I say I'm not advancing until I'm in position a little bit further north. Around here, again, it's just going to be skirmishing. Strong skirmishers since the update, they're very, very strong indeed. Put them in the town hex, and they're very hard to get out. Even out in the open, they're quite tough. Okay, so that's about all we can do. First Division are getting into a position to jump off now. We've got some sort of low ground just over here, and they're following up with cavalry, quite nice, and we do have some guns on the way as well. Just bring that horse artillery up. There we go. So that's going to be quite a nice weighty attack going to go in from the north, as long as nothing interrupts it. We can use the marsh and the river and the streams as a bit of protection on our flanks, but we do have some heavy cavalry. My cuirassiers and some carbiniers are here. There they go. So they're on disorder, hopefully, because all the leadership are nearby. Saying that. Yeah, it's all light leaders. So yeah, we've got a whole division there with artillery and some heavy cavalry backing up, and they will be the ones that make the main thrust and attack, just because I think it's going to be sort of side-on flank attack, and then follow it up probably with more of a southeasterly attack into this sort of Great Plain here towards that victory hex there, with the are they 5th Division? Yeah, they are. So with the 5th Division, we'll go sort of towards the redoubt and to this victory point by the trees. Around Helsinki then, I continued moving these skirmishers around so we can soften up these skirmishers, as we will here. And we'll have a go at taking this hex. Not promising anything. Well, they got 100. What can this artillery see? Can they soften anyone up? No. Okay, we will have a go with these light troops. That will win it. Like I say, skirmishers are very, very strong in town hexes since the update. What we do have to do is try and take this gun. These 12 guns are punishing all these troops along here. 40s, 50s, every time there's an opportunity fight, every time you move, they're all hitting home with their salvos. So we've got to try our best. I'm going to try my best to actually take that gun probably next turn, just because I've moved some troops around and won't be able to do anything this turn. Did move some artillery up though. And this artillery in the square by the artillery bridge, I moved it around, so that should be able to fire this turn as well. I'll have a go at these dragoons here. 100 and 100, so it makes no odds. Nice. Get these squares in the action. We got some artillery up here. Can they see anyone? I doubt they'll be able to see. Which means that these chaps will as well. Just fatigue, thank goodness. If that had been on the infantry, there would have been a few more casualties than that for sure. Freeland's 5th Division, they're still in this gully, in this sort of valley here. I've put the first 3 battalions into square, just in case he stumbles on them and moves these heavies and hussars forward, then he's going to stumble. I don't think... Yeah, he can't see them, so if he does come forward and stumble into them, they're going to give us quite a nice bit of protection. The rest of my heavies that are on the field at the minute, my cuirassiers, the 3rd Brigade, they're coming up with all their leaders. They're going to get into a jumping off point on this sort of nice flat high ground here, face inwards or face to sort of west-southwest, just to deal with anybody or any of this cavalry that actually comes through. As we get down here as well, if we can, and Helsinki gets taken relatively straightforward, we can use them to sort of push into Borodino town itself, or certainly act as a bit of protection, just in case he decides to send somebody from the Fletchers across to save the day, or who knows what he's going to do, because he's quite a random player, as most of you have seen that have watched these videos. I've got detached the 8th Hussars of the 4th Light Brigade. They're going to go on a scouting mission, as I briefly described earlier, up towards this Voina Brook and up towards this sort of flat area and the road round northwest of Sacharino, around that area there, just to keep an eye out for those Cossacks, because you know they're going to be there somewhere. I know the map and I know he starts with Cossacks somewhere up at this end. So we're going to be on the lookout for them, and he might have some weird random troop movements as well, so we do need to scout, we do need to keep an eye on it, and that's going to be the job of these Hussars. To bring some more artillery forward, I can't unlimber it this turn, but to start just getting a bit of a battery then overlooking Borodino, should I say, just to counteract. He's got a lot of troop movement, and he's brought these troops up to the bridge, so that would be a perfect opportunity fire, or a perfect fire for... No, wrong button. For these horse artillery. Good. And I think what we're going to have to do is bring some cavalry forward, just to protect them a little bit. Just in case he decides to come over the river and try and take this battery. Because we've got no infantry here at all. But we do have 12 guns there. I would say they're going to be safe. Opportunity fire on the way in. They possibly get disrupted by cavalry that's there. Yeah, I think they're fairly safe for a turn anyway. Still got our Lancers and our Hussars in reserve there. So that's the situation. Let's have a look at how we're doing. I know it's very early days. What do I want? Info victory. So it's cavalry getting hit already from the start. But he's been a little bit more, or less, rash with them, not like he's withdrawing them. But I've got a feeling though he's withdrawing them for something. Why did he just come in straight? I think it's because it's skirmishes. I've been discussing with people online and noticing his style of play. He was very, very rash with them. I think he's almost like a magpie, I said before, with a shiny object. He just swoops in because he can't help himself or something. But hopefully he'll learn. He learned more during our stat, so you know, hopefully progression is there. Because it'll be quite a short battle if he decides to just play like he's played the other ones and throws his cavalry away. But saying that, out here there is a lot of infantry as well. There's 2 armies I've got to fight against. Okay, so I think that is about it for this turn. Make sure I fired with those squares, fired everyone here. It's all opportunity fire until we get into position to attack. I think that's it, and we'll send it over. Oh, we've got some reinforcements. Yeah, forgot about that. So we'll fast track them here, over there. Okay, so we are building up a nice force here anyway. I will send it over this time and get back to you. Turn 5 on Russian campaign on Borodino then. Right, where do we start? Let's start in the south with the Poles, see what he did around there. And he basically moved Cossacks around. He unlimbered some artillery, this force artillery. They've got big old battery, don't they, the Russians, and had a blast at this square here and took quite a few troops, 30 odd I think it was. And he moves his Cossacks from south of Borodino away. He wasn't happy with those squares. Okay, so he's moved those away. However, he has continued moving these Cossacks around that were sort of down here somewhere at the last time. So around Borodino. Let me just put place names on. So for the redoubts, he had a couple of skirmishes here with his skirmishers, but nothing major. He's seen the arrival, I assume, because he's switched some light troops around to face us. What else has he done? He had this cavalry here. They didn't bump directly into the squares, but he's moved this cavalry that was on this high ground across down here. So I assume that he's coming to meet my heavy cavalry. It's very early for a cavalry on cavalry clash, but what to do? He took some units from this square with this big old battery here. I'm going to try and hopefully take it this turn, if not next turn. Got to try and do something about it because it's lethal. It's each salvo takes away a good chunk of troops from all these squares. Probably get them out of squares now that cavalry isn't so close because they're well covered by artillery. I'm going to carry on moving my reserve heavies down here and get everybody ready. They're almost pretty much not in a bad position for a jump off now, to be honest. Just having a look, maybe bring them down this covered ground here. It's quite open for them along here. Well, they're going to have to. And I think we've got strength in numbers, and especially if these are light troops and there's not a lot of them. We'll see. Let me have a think about that. We're going to try and take Helsinki as well, try and get these skirmishers out and route them out. We had to go last time, but we are bringing some artillery forward. Yeah, so we're going to try and take Helsinki. Heavies, they're going to continue down the west side of this wood, along with this division here, 2nd Division, France guys, and they're going to go down towards the back of Borodino. They're not going to advance on the Fletchers. They have to remain in cover, maybe behind the tree line somewhere here. Maybe have a look at this high ground. But we've got to deal with bloody cavalry straight off from the start. So we'll see what we get. I'm not going to move them in column. They're quite good where they are. Up here, towards Borodino, we saw some more troops move towards this Voina Brook and some behind them. So he's going to be strengthening that potential crossing. And what else did he do? Brought some troops up to this side of the river. He unlimbered a couple of batteries up here, so they're going to have the range, albeit a far range. They'll be quite far. Looks like he's moving artillery here as well, probably a 12-gun battery, yeah, I would say so, around Borodino. And what else? That's about it, really. So nothing major. I'm going to carry on with my plans. In the south, continue with the Poles. Get them involved fighting against this cavalry. I'm going to have to try and take out this battery, but it's covered. It's quite hard to take. I haven't got many Cossacks in there, but we're going to try and take that battery as soon as possible. Otherwise, it's going to wreak havoc on my approaching troops from Ionia. Around Borodino, business as usual. I'm not going to go on the attack with these chaps. I'm going to have to reinforce Borodino. It looks like I'm going to have to go further west than I initially anticipated along this high ground. Potentially bring one of these guns with a horse battery. Yeah, I might bring that horse battery out over here somewhere, just so it's overlooking this sort of dead ground valley, ravine, whatever you want to call it, around here. And I think I will start with the 1st Division and bring them up to a nice attacking position. Try and have a nice organised attack on the Borodino redoubt, because then I can start to move some of the 5th Division down into this sort of plain around this area, deal with those Cossacks towards that victory location. Up towards Borodino itself, continuing my scouting mission with those Hussars. And those Hussars are doing the same thing. They're going to come up towards this end of the brook on that high ground overlooking. Set up some artillery here, and I'm just going to pepper these troops around Borodino unless he doesn't cross, or if he doesn't cross. I'm just going to pepper them with artillery all day until they rout or take away some of their numbers. So I'll get back to you once I've moved everyone that needs to be moved, and that'll be the end of that turn. That Russian artillery is lethal. I moved a couple of squares around. I basically moved in to attack this battery up here eventually, so I moved some squares around and moved some guns into the squares to sort of overlook that battery in the road. Opportunity fire, 2 guns taken straight away. They are lethal, this Russian artillery. So I will have to start getting some revenge on some of this cavalry. Watch this gun now. Oh, absolutely lethal. Okay, what to do? And just fire on these Cossacks, chip away at them. Best course of action is all you can do with Cossacks, really. And yeah, I've got some guys up in column up here, down here. The idea being that they are going to come around this side. They're going to have to deal with Cossacks, but I'm going to move my squares forward with them as well. There's going to be some artillery cover within some of those squares. So hopefully we've got the numbers to take out that battery. Again, it has to be done fairly quickly because it is absolutely lethal. So that's the situation in Ionia. Going up towards Borodino and Borodino. We'll look at Borodino first. I moved some troops and I limbered that horse artillery battery up just to come up to this sort of corner of the high ground. They can overlook this western edge of it, the tip of it. Move these guys up onto the high ground. They are going to go into square next time, just provides a little bit of cover around this area around here. But we do have some fire with these guys. Who can they see? Probably, are they? Outside the arc, yeah. Not too bad. Seem to be quite... Oh, that's not... Some of the squadrons of Cossacks seem to be quite small. They're quite big ones. 40, 60... Okay, not too bad. So that's the plan around Borodino. Around Shevardino, I didn't really do much. I brought some of these troops that were in the fields on the road to start heading south, because they're going to go southeast towards this victory point over here. What we can really do is skirmish. I brought this square forward. Brought some extra skirmishes here. Just all tit for tat really, nothing major. Opportunity fire back. Okay. We've got some skirmishes here that can go. And I brought some of this 1st Division. They are ready to jump off next time. Brought them on the high ground. They're nice and evenly spaced. It's going to be attacked by probably much the full 1st Division. Got a lot of artillery coming up here, so that's going to be on position sort of overlooking Shevardino itself and the redoubt. This horse artillery, I'll bring it forward. And yeah, we're going to have quite a lot of firepower to actually take this redoubt. And as they make progress, we can put in some of the 5th Division to sort of mop up anything around this tree line, those guys up on the ridge, and the redoubt itself. It's very quiet, the redoubt. I'd love to get some eyes on it. I know that's not all he's got there. There's going to be some artillery somewhere. I would have thought in the redoubt itself, but that must mean it's around somewhere. Ideally, we'd love to see what's behind as well. Okay, so that's what these guys can do. They can try and come around here to Shevardino on this road somewhere across the marshes, and just to try and get eyes on what we can see from behind. Let's just have a look actually. Where would they have to be? Crikey. At the crossroads. So yeah, okay, that's a bit too late by then. Nothing else really. No. Okay, so we've a couple of bits of line of sight issue. Forget that. We're going to have to just press on and deal with whatever is going to come up. Heavy cavalry moves it into this recess over here, so they've carried on. And around Alexinki, that was the next spot then. I've limbered this horse artillery up so they can come over the bridge with us. And we're going to try and start to actually get some troops into the town itself. Brought forward some of my leader here, just because I want him to get in on the attack. Okay. Fire with Dalton, sorry. And watch how strong skirmishers are. I'm not expecting to win this melee. Even though they've got a leader, fairly fresh troops. Oh, they are very fresh. We'll try. See what happens. Oh, we did. Good. And same thing over here. They fired. They can fire. I don't have a leader here though. I'm going to go in. And I'll tell you what, these skirmishers can also go in as well. Good, so pushing into Alexinki, trying to get this bloody battery that's up on the hill. Same, try and take these skirmishers, push them back. Nope. Okay. Trouble is, if I take these light troops, they're going to get massacred if they... Let's see who we can fire on with artillery. That battery, we'll try and take one of the guns. Nope. Might as well. Good. Every little helps at the minute. This horse artillery, what can you see? You can see these skirmishers. As can you. Bit of a waste of ammo on skirmishers, I think. So we'll limber them up, get those guys out of square, and start to move forward. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to take a hit for the team. And it's going to be these Legers, I think. Okay, that's good. And we'll bring you forward. And bring you forward a little bit more. Opportunity fire. Okay, I'll bring that forward. What else do we do? Sorry, around here. Carried on getting my cuirassiers down on that tree line, or using that ravine here again. Try and hide. I don't think no, you can't see there, so that'll be a nice surprise for him. Left a couple out as a little target, as a little decoy. And if he's got to push forward, annoyingly, I couldn't change the direction, facing of these guys. But I do have a couple of squadrons ready to charge if he gets into this space here. And we've got the squares protecting. I might as well put them in square as well, just in case. Haven't moved any of them forward. They're still in that little valley there. Carried on bringing all my light, or the remainder of the light cavalry that I've got on the map, into position around Borodino, to the west of Borodino, and unlimbered quite a lot of horse artillery. So that is my plan for this turn, or up here anyway, is to start blasting away at these troops that are surrounding Borodino. I'll go with the guard that are in Borodino. Not too bad. Hussars, they've gone up north to get that overwatch position for this sort of dead ground up here. Have a look at what they can see. So they've got quite a nice line of sight over quite a lot. Put let's say squadron there, and squadron it's a little bit narrow. That's a bit better. So somewhere up there, just so they're overlooking, making sure that we can see anything that crops up there. Probably Cossacks, knowing him. And that's where we're at then. So if I press next turn, Pontonowski's finally on the map, and some more Polish line troops from the Polish Brigade. So let's see how we want to use them. I'll tell you what, they can go to the north of Ionia, up here, get in that cover, and you go up there. Yep, and then Pontonowski himself, you're going to get straight in the middle of Ionia and start issuing orders and adding a bit of oomph to the defence stroke attack around there. Nothing around a Titsa yet. Good. Cossacks we've got there. We've got a nice attack ready, poised for Shevardino probably next turn. And we started making slow progress into Alexinki. Still haven't got rid of that bloody battery though. And Borodino, we'll set up some artillery to pop away at the Russians. That is all we've got for this turn, so I'll send it over and get back to you the next turn.